Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with the Queens. Today we are talking about finding success with network marketing. We have two powerhouse guests you do not want to miss today, so stay right there.
Welcome to Coffee with the Queens, empowering you to grow and protect your cash credit castle and kingdom. Have you ever heard the phrase, get your ducks in a row, and you feel like you haven't done that? We share learned lessons and practical advice to help guide you to a life of financial freedom. Empowerment is key, so grab your coffee and crown and let's get to it.
Take it away, Queen Tammy.
Hello, ladies.
Hey, good morning.
Happy belated St. Patty's Day.
The cup.
I got my coffee. What do you have in your cup? I got my mocha. You know me.
I got my coffee, but I didn't sneak out to get my good cup. I'm broadcasting another cup, and I shouldn't be. I know, for shame.
I have fresh organic grapefruit juice from my farmer's market on Saturday.
Oh, nice.
You are living in the middle of that beautiful San Francisco Bay Area where fresh fruit is so abundant and available all the time. Yep. My coffee cup today, again, is Yes, I Can. Actually, I can. Another little boost of empowerment, because today we have two powerhouse guests that are going to help us, encourage us to meet we always talk about passive income, multiple income streams. And these two know more than most people I know and have found great success with it. So as we all know, and we've talked about in the show the last couple of weeks, during the pandemic, people have been trying to find a side hustle, something that they don't have to rely on someone or a business that, if we have another pandemic, can suddenly they lose their job. They want to be more empowered themselves with the wealth that they create and build. So today we're talking about network marketing. That's one of the easiest options for people to step into, because these businesses have incredible leadership. They have their commission structures, everything put together for you, as opposed to starting a business from the ground yourself. So all of those things are in place for you. So it's an option that many, many people look at, but I think people do get confused. Sometimes it's overwhelming. So we wanted to talk about this today. If you've ever been in network marketing or direct sales and you wonder, is this a good opportunity? Is this not a good opportunity? How to tell the difference. So I want to kick it off with a question to you ladies. Have you ever been involved in any network marketing company? What's been your experience?
Well, I love this topic, because to me, it's I said when we were discussing this possibility of doing this on the show, that it's a very bipolar subject, because I think there's not a single person listening that hasn't been approached by a network marketer, and I will say the word wrong, in the wrong way. And I say wrong because it's a way that is so obvious and so oppressive that you actually want to run the other direction. Yet I have clients and have supported with helping them do video and directing videos and such of people that are extremely successful in the network marketing area. And I know people that are big fans of network marketing, that are very savvy business people. So there is a real way to protect yourself. Like you said, there'll be another, there could be another pandemic. The thing is, there will be another crisis, whether it'll be a pandemic of a virus of sorts, we don't know. There will be something. And so I understand the attraction of it, particularly when I see some of my clients that are showing up with, the beautiful luxury cars and the diamonds around their neck and their trips everywhere. And you're going, well, gosh, that's pretty cool, right? That they've actually now quit their corporate job or their brick and mortar store so that they are only doing their network marketing and they're being this successful. So I know it's possible. I am really looking forward to learning more about how our guests have created the world that they live in, because it's one of those. It's definitely success, and it's very enticing. So,
yeah, I agree. I'm right with you too. Being a solopreneur, it does get challenging. And when you do find something that you like out there as either network marketing or something like that, as long as it has a good structure, because, I have the pros and cons and I hear the pros and cons. I have a friend that is a VP of a big company. And what I love about what he does is he gets his team every single morning at 10 a.m. and they read books and empowering business books. And I think that's amazing because he's boosting them up. So if network marketing does that, I think that's a great thing. And I've been into a couple and I got burnt, unfortunately. It just didn't work for me. The only people that made money was the person on the top of the pole, right? So that's the thing. That's what I always hear about network marketing. My mom was in Avon literally for decades, and she was our best customer because you had to buy a certain amount every month. So she had to buy. And so we still have 10 years worth of Avon in the garage, right? I'm still using Avon. I love it though, but that's a good thing. But it is what it is. So I'm looking forward to hearing about, what are there changes now going on, right? So it's going to be cool. What about you, Kathy?
Right. I think like most of you, my first experience with network marketing was when the Avon lady showed up in my mother's living room to sell products when we were growing up. And I think it's interesting that so many of us have this experience with Avon, because Avon is without a doubt the oldest company in network marketing. They actually started, I found this fascinating, is a perfume company in 1886.
Wow.
And it's named Avon because the founder loved Shakespeare. And Shakespeare's birthplace is Stratford-on-Avon. So that's why it's called Avon. Today, it is obviously a huge leader. I think it's the second largest network marketing company, doing, I think, $5 billion. But back to, I think, why we have such hesitancy is that what's encouraging is that 74% of the workforce in network marketing are women. And I heard Grant Cardone at the 10X conference this weekend talk about the power of women in sales, and that if he had to bet on a woman to meet her goals, 92% of them met their goals. There's something about women, they know how to sell. But on the other hand, the statistics, if you look at it in network marketing, get skewed because a lot of people don't make money. But part of that is because so many people are like, so here's mom. They buy it for their personal use because they want a discount. Okay.
Yes.
So the numbers you really can't trust. I come from the statistics world. It's like, what do you want the numbers to show? I'll make them show that. So if you're obviously trying to recruit people, you were going to show the positive part. But I think that for women especially, and I think all the things we've said, it's a great opportunity to have a side hustle. And we're going to learn more about how people make this be positive. And I'm so excited to hear our guests today.
Thank you, Kathy. I want to hop on that and just say that, in my experience as well, I know that having the support of your family is very important, your spouse and your family. I think that's so crucial and key in finding success here. And I know our guests are a prime example of how that has worked. So, Sandra, if you are willing to...
Are we ready now? Well, as I said, I think we're gonna. Before we came on, you guys, I just want you to know that this is going to be a very challenging show for us because we have so many questions that we actually had to start cutting things before we actually came live. It's like we have too many questions for these people. It's going to be a long show, so I'm really excited to actually bring them on. Finally, Tomas Tidlund, and his wife Donna Johnson are both top earners and mentors in network marketing, and they have been for decades. So they lead teams of hundreds of thousands of people spread out in over 20 countries. They have shared the stage with Tony Robbins, Les Brown, and so many others, and they have a mission, and it's very similar to our mission for the show, which I appreciate, to help people find their passion, step into leadership, and flourish. So let's welcome, please, Tomas and Donna. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining.
Hi, guys. Great to see you.
Hello.
Great
Nice.
to see you
Thank
as
you for
well.
having us. We're excited to be with the Queens.
Yeah. Yeah. We love queens.
Well, Tomas, she may not be a queen, but we appreciate you anyway. So I have to admit I am approached just about every week. I think some of the other queens might be as well, quite often, by, as some people would say, a great opportunity. And it ends up being, you know, these people that are trying to get me on their team for their network marketing. And there's many different companies that do this. There's a right way and the wrong way, I feel, to approach people with this. But how do I really know if a opportunity is really a great opportunity, or whether it's an opportunity to actually turn my butt and run? Because I know there's different pay structures. We were mentioning that sometimes you're your best customer. And so what is the way that we can tell that it may be something to sit down and really learn about?
That's a great question, and I think widely, you know, thought on and asked. And before I go straight to that answer,
yes.
And I know my wife had a great answer for that too, but I would say in network marketing and in direct sales, and I want to be very clear with this, there's absolutely no income guarantees. You know,
Sure.
It's up to, and this is kind of funny because, you know, the stock market never tells you that. And you know that's more of a gamble. But we want to be very clear that there's absolutely no income guarantees, and to get where you may have a vision or a desire for, there's hard work to get there. But like in anything in life, there's hard work to get where you want to go. So with that said, I think one thing that we talked about earlier today too, but if you want to go into, you know, what the thing when it comes to network marketing or direct sales today, you think it should be very customer driven.
Yeah.
It should be. Yes. And tell us what you mean by that exactly. Can you explain a little bit more so people can identify?
Yeah, we definitely want to get into that, because I think a lot of people have experiences with our profession that is a lot of hype. And something that Thomas always says is nothing is easy, but who wants nothing? And I believe that the more people make promises, the more you kind of almost have to put your red flag up. And I love sharing hope, not hype. And really the disclaimers are so important because, we're regulated like any other profession, and there are no guarantees, like Thomas said. But what I love about this profession is it's a level playing field. I don't have a college degree. Thomas and I are in two separate companies, and our compensation plans are structured in a way that the company doesn't look at you and say, oh, well, you're a single mom with 3 small kids, no college degree. You can't take that path to success, or you're not the right color, you're not the right age, you're not the right experience, whatever. And so I love that about our profession. But to answer your question about what to look for, there's so many things, because you have to have a good comp plan to survive in this profession. But I believe in having a balanced comp plan. I think one of you mentioned it was only the people at the top that earned income. I love a fair, balanced compensation plan. So there's right now money right away. That's very customer driven, like Thomas said. And one of the best litmus tests to ask yourself is, if there was no business opportunity attached to this product, would I use it anyway? And that is a really good litmus test. But, use your heart, use your tug. I call the tug the ultimate guide. Look at culture and leadership and product, compensation, the tribe, the system, all those things together. Do your due diligence. And there's really great companies out there. Thomas and I are in 2 separate companies. We actually met in the profession over 12 years ago. And then I spoke for his company in Dubai. So Thomas is from Sweden, I'm from US. We meet in Dubai for a leadership conference. We fall in love. And because of this profession, Thomas said, love knows no distance. So, we work from home, and multiple streams of income are really important. And I really believe that network marketing is a great option, because not only is it adding another income stream, but you can actually choose your level of engagement. And some people don't realize that. Some people think, oh, if I do this, I just got to hit it and go straight to the top. But when I launch someone, I'll always say, tell me what your dreams, desires, and discontents are, and what do you want to earn, and we'll create a business plan to support that. Some people just want to make an extra $500 a month, and we'll show them how to do that. So I think there's a lot of misconceptions about our profession, that if you truly do it the right way that fits you and your life and what you want, you can really, like we said, flourish in this business.
Yes, I love that. And I also have to mention real quick that I want to give a shout out to what you did for a friend of ours, Sharon Lechter, the book Think and Grow Rich for Women. I understand, Donna, you wrote a chapter in her book? Did you?
Yeah, my story is between Oprah and Mother Teresa.
That's fantastic. That's
how about a claim to fame, right?
Well, I know that Sharon is a big proponent for women, getting, for everybody, understanding their finances better, and multiple streams of income is something that she's a big fan of. So when you said that, I just thought, let's give a shout out to you for being in the book in between Oprah and Mother Teresa.
I love Sharon.
Yeah. She is both Sharon and Michael is a very dear friend of us, and we love hanging out with them on different locations around the world.
They're wonderful. They're wonderful.
I love that. Now, Thomas, you actually were a high school dropout, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I should be happy or ashamed of it.
No, because you hear a lot of this, high school dropout turned business professional, right? And so how did you get the business savvy to even begin and build your team? And you both have a huge network, right, between both of you. So how do you find ways to support each other? I know, twofold.
So let's start with, I was a high school dropout, and ironically, I ended up being a high school teacher. I don't know how you play that puzzle, and I was also an athlete, and that the way I got introduced to network marketing was that the colleague to me reached out and had a product that could, increase and boost your performance and recovery. And so that's why I was introduced. That this is back in 1998, before internet and before social media, anything. The cell phones did not look like this.
No, they're huge.
I know, right?
They were the beepers, right?
I'm in Sweden. It was a US company, and I got to learn that company through the product, and started out. And as I said, full-time work, semi-professional soccer player, so 6 days a week, and still figure it out. And I just had a drive to succeed. Like, I really wanted to achieve something. So I think out of that, I grew a lot of, leadership skills and business skills and all the savvy things you need. So that was the desire to, and I would say prior to that, in early 1993-ish, I started my journey on personal development. So I had that for many years when I met with the network marketing, and that's just an amplifier, that's just a boost for leadership, personal development, and all those things. So I think that was a great lineup that came together. And less than 2 years later, I was full-time in my business back in Sweden.
Wow. That's
so
amazing.
That's amazing. So I was thinking about the pandemic and your business models and how did it impact it. How do you recruit new salespeople, which seems to be the thing that drives the sales? How do you communicate with your customers and provide this in the world of pandemic, which has all these social distancing rules? And did it help your business?
Right. Well, that is a really good. That's a really good question. Someone was talking about the Avon lady, and back in the old days, we got the products, we packed them up. I remember my 5 adult children, they would help me pack them, deliver. Now we don't even touch the products. Everything is virtual. And so we were probably 80-20, 60-40 virtual in person. And just like that, we were able to switch our business model because we don't have brick and mortar. We were able to go full 100%. But you should know, and everyone watching should know, that the FTC, we are not allowed in our profession to talk about the business helping you during a pandemic. We're not allowed to talk about products that could build your immune system. So just disclaimer here, and obviously we all know that's a whole nother story why. But yeah, we just stay away from those topics and just do what we do best and share the story of the product and business and let people decide. But for instance, my team, we didn't miss a beat. We do 15-minute virtual parties, and everyone's having fun, and they're flourishing and happy. And we just pivoted, Rita Davenport always talks about prepare for impact. And I think we were able to just pivot and make the changes necessary. And I think one of you were talking about earlier, mindset is so important. Tammy, I think it was you in your coffee mug. Your mindset, you have to mind your mind, because what you think about, you bring about it. And it really is true. If you think you can or you can't, you are absolutely right. And I said this to my kids growing up, and now they repeat it back to me. So, and by the way, if you have children and you have multiple streams of income, don't apologize. I think one of the biggest things that happens is if you get up at 5 a.m, take your kids to daycare, go to work 10 hours, come home, do the grind. Somehow that's okay. But if you're trying to do, be an entrepreneur, all of a sudden that is not looked at as important. So, you have time, you work from home, so you can do this or you can do that. So you really have to watch your boundaries and respect your business, whatever it is that you do. And even if you're at the early stages of what you're doing, don't discount yourself and say, I'm working really hard, but I'm not making money yet. No, act as if, and people will treat your business the way you treat your business. Okay. If that's some advice I love to say after being in this profession over 40 years, longer than many of you have been born. My hindsight is your foresight. So really respect your business. And if you respect your business, whatever it is, and no matter how many businesses you have, respect it. Don't make excuses. Don't apologize. Don't apologize to your children. Money doesn't grow on trees. They need to see a work ethic, because you are going to hope that your children will grow up and have a work ethic, right? So they're watching you. Give them a good show. They're watching you manage your disappointments. They're watching you make your schedule. They're watching you follow through and doing the things you say you're going to do. And that's all things that they'll duplicate. So don't mommy guilt yourself out of your business.
Exactly.
Now, how do you support each other? Like, let's say that you wake up on the wrong side of the bed and you just feel burnt out or something, right? Now, how do you support each other? Right?
I think we're laughing, because that's a really great question, and I think there's so many things to say about that, because I think self-awareness, number one, you really have to understand yourself to support someone else, and it's all comes back. It's rooted. What you say? It comes back to love. Love for another, love for yourself. Love, when you lead with that, I think you have another understanding and an appreciation for things. So. I will talk about myself instead of talking about my wife then. So if I wake up on the wrong side, like you said, I have I would say I'm lucky enough to have an accountability partner on the other side of the bed, that can also hold me responsible for things that she knows that I want to be, or how I want to be, or where I want to go, which helps a lot. Does that mean that there's no challenges or problem? Absolutely no, because I think, like Donna already said, nothing is easy, but who wants nothing? It's like there's a book called The Road Less Traveled.
Yes.
Read that book.
But the first chapter, the first sentence is life is difficult. So we always have to learn and adapt to get where we want to be. And I think to have good communication and pre-communication, we're talking about things that could happen. Then we have already done it when it happened. I think those things are important too.
In fact, we're in the same profession, so we can speak the same language and cheer each other on. And a lot of people find it odd that we're married and in two different companies, but I think that is a mindset that people have. I think it's really important to embrace and edify everyone who's on a path for success, no matter what profession it is. I mean, years ago, I had an artist friend that wanted to break away from her full-time job and pursue art. And I said, let me do an open house and have all my friends, and you can, and she said, you're the only friend that is supporting me. Everyone said, oh, keep your day job. You don't, you're risking all that. So whether you're in another profession, whether you're in another company within our profession, like we are, some of our best friends are in other companies in the profession, and there's room for everyone. There's room for success for everyone. And our job is to grow and learn and cheer each other on, lead with love. And this isn't a competition or a race. And if you do the right thing in the right way for the right reason, you can take people with you instead of thinking that you're a one-person show.
Yeah. And also it comes back to, since this is mostly a female audience, I would say, when you start to become, or when you start the path to success, you have the desire to achieve something, there's a huge chance or risk, whatever you choose to choose, that your spouse will not be that supportive because they would feel threatened about what's coming around the corner. And we talk about that a lot. And I think, as in everything, there's good and evil in that. And I think, the more aware you are, the better you are to handle it. But I think a lot of times we see the female spouse, hustle, and the spouse is working against them. And we don't say that this is for everyone, but a lot of times. And then when the success comes, when the big checks comes and everything, for a period of time, the spouse now gets very supportive, but they haven't built that foundation. So over time, they actually, divorce or end splitting up and stuff. And I think all of that could, with nonviolent communication, with healthy communication, that I think that anyone, everywhere, no matter what business or life you have, you should, strive to have a good, healthy communication with your partners, with your friends, with your family, whatever it is.
Now,
I want to just interject real quick because we have some comments that I wanted to share with you. Mads has been supporting, saying, loving the perspective on a few things. And then we have a question, interesting enough, from a male. Angel has a question, and let's just throw this out at you. Couples like you, how do you engage with community in your area? And I know that you have a not-for-profit of your own, which might be a great opportunity to explain what that is. And what else do you guys get involved in?
Oh, well, we just make friends in our community. We just show up and are there. We're not really in a lot of clubs and things like that. We travel so much and have homes in different areas. So pretty much things are more online, but I think developing friendships and just really supporting other people in their endeavors is so important. I don't know if
tell us about your nonprofit. Yeah, tell us about the nonprofit.
I think also now we are settled as we are residents up in Wisconsin because we just built a new home here, moved in last summer, and it's on
Native.
And on a native reservation. And what we do, we engaged and we work a lot with the natives here, like, and it's from a viewpoint of what can I do to serve, what can I do to help, and then also, if we need help, we hire people around here so we can, pour into the community there.
Excellent.
Yeah, and our nonprofit, it's something that I started decades ago, and I have people say to me, gosh, when I'm successful, I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, whatever your passion is. It may be rescuing dogs. It may be just whatever your passion is. And I always say, don't wait until you become successful. Start now and build it small. And then as your business grows and your income grows, your impact can grow. And so that I would totally recommend that. But we do full support of 4 orphanages in India and Africa, but there's one in particular that we've expanded, and we've developed a permaculture community through my son, who's a permaculturist. So traditional agriculture grows in rows, permaculture grows in systems. So we introduced that through Thomas's soccer experience. We have found by helping the kids and the community with a soccer program, it was so fun to bring jerseys and shoes and be a part of a team. And what they've told us is that keeps these kids off the street. So
and off drugs,
so, and guns and drugs.
Yes.
Well, whatever it is, start small, and it can grow as your business grows.
I want to give you a big shout out because you've mentioned your son, and I happen to know some of your family. So congratulations, you guys, on raising 6 incredible children together as a blended family. Donna, your eldest son, I find it interesting that both of you are in the health and wellness niche in your businesses, and your children are really following in your footsteps. So your eldest son is very much an organic, sort of living off the grid and permaculturist, as you said. Your youngest twins have just graduated with degrees in nutrition or something.
And
so
they're herbalists. Mm-hmm.
Herbalists, yes. So it's pretty amazing. I know you live, eat, and breathe. You're what you believe in, and I think that's so important in your business because it shines through not only to others, but obviously to your own family who has followed sort of in those footsteps.
Well, and there you go, you guys. Little ears are listening. They were raised with me talking about these things, and they might have not followed me in the path of my business, but they went on the path of something similar because they were raised with this. And so I think, how you do anything is how you do everything, and the way you live just affects everyone. It's not just your business, it's your relationship, it's your friendship. And, it's so interesting just seeing grocery carts sometimes and what's in them, and just wondering if you can make a difference in the world. So anyway.
I totally understand that.
So many people now who have experienced a bit of what entrepreneurship is like these days, because whether they were at a corporate and then had to work from home, it's difficult to work from home. It's difficult not having that overshadowing boss, telling you what to do or schedule, or how do you guys manage that as entrepreneurs? And do you have any advice for our listeners out there that might find themselves newly in an entrepreneurial position these days?
Yeah, that's really the one that I wanted to answer, because I find that at least people I work with struggle the most. When you don't have a boss and you don't have a clock, you wake up in the morning, you're looking at the boss, all of a sudden you can just get real relaxed. And so my advice, I'm going to give you 4 Ds. And so I'm going to take notes fast because we don't have much time, but I call them the 4 Ds that you have to manage this every day. And it's your doubts, your disappointments, your distractions, and your dream stealers. And first of all, your doubts. So your morning time should be reinforcing your goals, your vision, and any doubts, shut them out. Your disappointments, understand that those are real. Don't go through your life on this roller coaster. You're up with a success, you're down with something that didn't work right. Just try to stay in through it and lean in. It will help your adrenal glands too.
Yes.
And in your relationships. So your disappointments, your distractions, the more you are in charge of your business in your life, get this, the more distractions you will have, because people will distract you because they think they can, like I talked about earlier. So put your boundaries up. And number 4, your dream stealers. And I'm going to give you just a little advice on a tip to turn a dream stealer into a cheerleader. Would you like to hear that?
Yes.
Right. Think of the most, the biggest dream stealer in your life. Maybe it's a sister, maybe it's your father, maybe it's a friend, whatever. Hopefully not your spouse. And they're just, you know how dream stealers act, right? You know, and so they know they're a dream stealer. You know, they know everyone knows that you don't believe in this. So sit them down and have a crucial conversation and just say, so maybe it's your dad. Dad, you know what? I get it. I understand. You don't think this works. You don't think I'm on the right track. You think I should do this. You think I should do that. But I want you to know something. It would mean the world to me if you would support me, because I really believe in this. I'm going to go out on the skinny branches and do this, and I believe in myself. I may fail, I may succeed, but I am passionate about this. And will you do me a favor? If you ask me, how's it going? And I give you some, excuse or whatever, will you bust me and cheer me on and say, don't use that excuse. You can do this. And, when you ask them to bust you and ask them, would you please be a cheerleader for me? Unless they really don't like you, they're going to think about that and go, yeah, you know what? I need to be a cheerleader for my daughter or my friend or whoever it is. But you know what? Whatever happened, just to old-fashioned, crucial conversation. And you know what? I know you don't support me, but it would mean the world. And you'd be surprised at the outcomes of just those honest conversations.
Yeah. Amazing advice. Wow.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm glad you brought that up because, Angel is my husband, and we have that lack of communication sometimes. And I love these tips that you're sharing right now because we need to use them. And I love the fact that you were talking about the mindset, and you have to reframe what you're thinking too, because like you said, if you're going up and down, how do you change those disappointments and say, okay, let's reframe that. Okay, so how could we make it more level and say, okay, change the disappointment to, okay, this is a learning experience, and how could we move forward with this and communicate better? So I love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
And
I
those are great.
I worked with my husband in the corporate world, for 3 years, and I'm really fortunate. I have an amazing husband. The only time I ever got in trouble was when I did something that to make the long story short, they sent it to him, and it turned out that I was the person that caused the problem, and he wouldn't have known it unless he was talking to me at night. And I said, I did that. But that's my story. It's a long story. He would have never known. He was the CFO, and somebody wrote me a letter. Somebody dropped it. Anyhow, I said I did that. That was my story of my corporate life.
So taking ownership is basically what you do.
I took ownership of it, and then he had to go take ownership of the problem because now he knew who caused the problem. Otherwise, because I don't know that person. Don't come bother me.
I also think that there is something else at play there too that you might want to speak to as we're coming to a close here, but with you anyway. But for me, I had to have a conversation like that with my husband because I would be frustrated with something and he would try to save it. He was trying to protect me. Well, why don't you just give this up? Well, why don't you just, and it's coming from a place, maybe like to use the scenario of it being the father, right? That lack of support may be when you're frustrated, they're telling you to just give it up. It doesn't matter anyway. And then we take it as, something really hurtful when it could be coming from a really good place. I think that conversation that you have where you just suggested, hey, could you just cheer me on instead of trying to fix? That's what I had to say. Please don't fix it. I don't need to be fixed. I don't need to be saved. I really need you to just bust my butt when I get like this. And, there was a slight pause on the other end of the phone, and he went, well, okay, and it totally changed things. So I think that's such a valuable thing. Before we go, what is the number one thing, the number one tip for success in business, network marketing, or any other type of business that you would want to leave with somebody today? You've given us a lot. Is there one thing that you'd want to leave as a little jewel?
I'll do a quick one. Yep. Okay. So for me, being in this business for so long, the only way that you can fail is to quit. And so the more focused you are on your end goal and what you want and what you visualize for your future, you'll spend less time making excuses, blaming people, or justifying. Excuses, blaming, and justifying are killers. And just build and stay focused. And Thomas talked about personal development. It's so important, and that will help you stay focused. I know so many people who would be millionaires today if they just had not quit. So never give up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tomas, do you second that?
Absolutely. And I would say, your success will always bless other people. So I will close with this. There's a book called A Purpose-Driven Life by Rick Warren.
Rick Warren.
First sentence in the first chapter goes, "It's not about you."
Right.
And I think with that mindset, you will go a long way.
It's one of my favorite openings of a book, actually.
Yeah.
That's one that I knew, actually, as you were about to say, I'm like, I know how that opens. Thank you guys so much for being here. We so appreciate it. Is there some way that we can follow you, get info from you? What's the best way for folks that are watching that want to learn more about your success? How do we do this?
I would say through Facebook would be, and that's easy. It's Donna Johnson or Thomas Tidlund.
There we go. Easy way to do it.
Wonderful.
Thank you guys so much.
Great.
Queens.
Thank you.
It was great. Awesome advice. See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
What
Wow.
rock stars, right?
That was amazing. They're amazing. Wow.
Amazing information.
What a power couple.
I would absolutely. And one thing, this coffee cup, the reason I brought this coffee cup is because they're here in Wisconsin. So I'm lucky enough to have met them, right? And know them a little bit. And I just want to share one amazing story with you that he sort of alluded to. So they built this incredible log home, which was a blend of their cultures. He brought Sweden to a log home on a lake in Wisconsin. So how do you blend those two architecturally, is quite a feat, right? And so I was lucky enough to see the home this summer. And I remember when he was giving us the tour, he and Donna were giving us the tour, I said, how did you get, I've dealt with builders in this area before, and how did you explain and, come up with this vision and have them put this, bring this vision to life? And he said, it was an interesting journey because when I would say, no, I need it like this. And they said, well, we can't do that. We have to build it like this. And he said, but if you could do it, how would you do it?
Good one.
So, talking about reframing, like we were talking about, and I thought that was so interesting and what a beautiful perspective, to getting a little bit more in life and helping others along the way. So
just our last show, we were talking about in our roundtable, it came up about the power of language and that word can't. And if you he removed it and said, but if we could, and that opens up the possibilities and the creative thinking that allows you to solve so many problems. And that also leads perfectly into our quote for the day, which comes from Robert Kiyosaki, who in fact had worked alongside our friend Sharon Lechter, who we had mentioned earlier in the show. So his quote is, the poor get up every day and go to work for money, not taking the time to ask the question, is there another way?
Love that
fits perfectly.
Yay!
It does. Woohoo! So do we have an empowerment ebook to give away today? We had Mads who was commenting.
We do, and also I think just to remind everyone who watches and tunes in, thank you so much. Again, a lot of amazing nuggets were shared in the show today, so please share this with your friends and share the joy and the love and the leadership that they brought to us today, and empower others with this information. And the more you share, the more you engage, you win prizes with us. We love to reach
Abigail, an angel.
So.
Abigail.
Should we, oh, yeah, let's go with the first one I click on. And I think, yes, Mads is an avid follower of ours. She said, she loved this quote. She said, share hope, not hype, yes. Which was a beautiful comment that Donna made today. So Mads, we're sending you an empowerment ebook today to help you keep empowered and inspired. And thanks so much for tuning in, as always.
Awesome, you guys.
So great.
You know what? If this has been helpful, please do share, subscribe, and all that wonderful stuff. And join us next week, because next week, I'll tell you what, would you like to learn how to have other people pay for your business? Wouldn't we all? That's why we're going to be talking sponsorships next week with our absolutely fabulous guest, Linda Hollander. So we'll see you then. As of now, we're out, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Thanks all.
Bye.